Today we find ourselves in revolutionary France. Except we're not in France. We're here at the Chatham Dockyard, where this historic naval dockyard became 19th century France in the movie Les Misérables. Yeah, that's right, the Oscar-winning epic starring Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman. Parts of France were filmed right here at the dockyard. But how did a British naval base transform into the streets of France? So yes, when director Tom Hooper needed authentic 19th century architecture, the streets of Paris just simply weren't going to work. Yeah, it's far too clean, far too rebuilt and far too modern. And what he needed was this. Just when I heard voices, I was being careful in case I made someone jump, but there's no one here. Very eerie. And if you're a fan of Les Mis, whether it's the movie or the musical itself, I think the production, the characters, and Les Misérables in its entirety needs more than just emotion. It needs atmosphere. And that's where Chatham delivers. The scale of the dockyard itself, the towering brick facades as you see, these vast open spaces, these opening sequences, a crushing sense of oppression. You know, when prisoners haul ships under the watch of guards, you feel the cold, exhaustion, hopelessness. And you'd recognise that from the movie as well. Very little CGI was needed here for a movie like Les Misérables. The authenticity is real, the realism helped actors like Hugh Jackman fully inhabit Valjean's world. Because they weren't acting against, you know, green screens and things like that. They were standing inside history. And this location doesn't just show suffering. And here's what a lot of people have missed from the movie. It foreshadows revolution. It foreshadows revolution. And with that being said, let's mash up some shots, shall we? So we may as well start here. If you remember from the movie, this was pivotal to slaves and the poor being held down here, being inspected by prison guards. So recognisable. And we'll try and match up that best we can with the actual movie itself. Yeah, that would have been a hive of activity on that shoot that day. But I mean, this is a shot to utilise the feeling of the poor and run down. Another shot from the movie will be round about there, where Russell Crowe as Javert is standing up there looking down, looking over everybody, judging, and look at contempt in his eyes. and it's right next to where we just were, that last location, right there. And the space here for cast and crew. It's very accommodating, and as we look around the side here, that I would assume where trailers and transport and equipment would have been brought in from to make this possible. Yeah, right up there, Russell Crowe as Javert in Les Misérables. Yeah, and as we said, the director wanted something that was worn and cracked with history. And my God, he got it here. He wanted run-down streets of Paris, little narrow alleyways that run off this main street here. Perfect for what he was after. Also the workshops, the yards, the barricade assembly atmosphere, all would have been perfect for this location. And of course, the cobbled courtyards, Fontaine's world and working class scenes. You know, these courtyards provided the atmosphere, exactly what was needed for the working class world. Fontaine's world, a place where life's hard, cold winds cut deeper than poverty at times, and where hope is something you earn. Also Fontaine, what a powerful character, and I don't know what it is about this place, but her suffering feels heavier when you're walking through here. Yeah, her pain and courage in that movie is something that stands out for me, above all the injustice that is served during the course of that production, the film, the book, the musical, whatever it is. But her story is so reflective of so many hundreds of thousands of people around, you know, that time and previous centuries, not just women, but with her story, yes, relatable to so many women that didn't deserve that. Look at that, how beautiful is that? Harbour. I'm not sure how many harbour scenes were filmed here in Les Misérables in the film, because a lot of people think, I'm going to show it in a sec when we walk around the corner, but a lot of people think the opening sequence, the look down, the song is filmed here at the dockyard as well, in what I'll show you as we go around the corner, but it's not. So if you do come here and you think that's it, it's not. That was filmed actually in Portsmouth dockyard, which if you haven't been to, definitely worth a visit as much as this one. But yeah, I'm sure they would have, the film itself here, while they were here, the production would have utilised as much as they could from this, I'm sure. It's quite strange in a way, the similarities shared between movie and this particular dockyard, this location, especially like the film's grim harbour scenes, the movement of prisoners, soldiers, dock workers and such like. And a place where, not only its naval history, but people would have laboured here under really strict conditions, harsh working hours, as of course Charles Dickens' father found out because he worked here for a period of time. Yeah, so this is the location that people believe became Toulon in the movie. You know, the brutal French prison port where Valjean pulls heavy ropes to the rhythm of suffering. But as I say, it's more likely Portsmouth. In fact, almost definitely is, unless they did some shots either side. I think they would have just done the whole lot over at Portsmouth. You can imagine looking down at that. It'd be tempting to use that, but yeah, as I say, big submarine in the way, and to move that, to get them to try and move that out is impossible. So there wouldn't have been enough space, as you can tell. As I say, unless literally they used just bits and pieces which wouldn't have been worth the wait, wouldn't have been worth the expense, and you just wouldn't have had the room here to do it. I know some productions they want to keep in one location the best they can to save on budget, but with Les Mis, I'm sure budget wasn't an issue, to be honest. Lovely submarine though. Les Misérables is a story about struggle, about redemption, about the indestructible spirit of ordinary people. And here at Chatham Dockyard, those themes aren't just filmed, they're felt. So just along from Chatham Dockyard, along the river, about a 10-minute walk, this is where Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman, between filming scenes, I should say, or maybe even takes, they wandered down the riverside to get a refreshment, a refreshing beverage from in this pub, the Ship and Trades, going towards St Mary's Island. And they were seen drinking in there. So we're going to go in and see if there's any photos on the wall of their visit. I do not want to be dropping my phone down there after all the footage just filmed. But yeah, we're here at the Ship and Trades pub, just along the river, so they would have walked quite possibly along this side, because Chatham Dockyard is beyond that building, down on the left hand side. A lovely place just to sit out. Yeah, imagine that in the summer. It's beautiful. And there's the Ship and Trades pub. There were no photos inside, unfortunately. Mr. Crowe or Mr. Jackman, while they attended, and had some nice, refreshing bevies, I'm sure. But yeah, lovely little place. So if anyone's looking to film at the Dockyard, know that just down the road, on a summer's day, if you're filming through summer, come along here. Look at that, and look out over the marina. Good choice from Valjean and Javert. And there it is, Ship and Trades.